Hello, everyone and friends. Thank you so much for joining our weekly inspiration call. This is for mindset. This is for my mindset community, for my team, for my friends, really anyone right now looking to not depend on their life situation or circumstances, and to depend really on your choices and the choices you choose every single day to make for yourself. So today specifically, we're going to get into social media, and I have mentors that I follow. My mentors are documented multimillionaires, and this is their part of their formulas for success on social media. And I'm going to go into some good detail because this is really something valuable that we all need to know, because this is how they literally created their multi-millions, right? So it's not about the money. I'm here to share with you that, I'll ask you a question. Have you ever heard, or do you believe that we have to work hard to be successful, right? That's where we'll start with, because I used to believe that. And, success can be defined in many different ways. It doesn't have to actually have a dollar sign. We can have an empty bank account and a happy heart, and that could be successful. So we choose what the definition of that success is. That's the first thing. We're making our choices, and then we're continuing to grow and move forward no matter what, right? Despite what's going on, despite what maybe even perceived limits, right? What happened to me was I had actually created a six-figure income in my portrait business. And I know you here live have heard this story. I'm going to share this briefly, though, for all of you that haven't heard this story and those that are going to come and watch the replay. My six-figure portrait studio, I worked hard to create that. And I can look back now, and I know I worked hard. I was working hard at that time. I was, at that time, I did consider myself successful. We had all the money we wanted. We were a family. We could do anything and everything we wanted. Then my arms one day didn't want to work anymore. And I do believe I was called to slow down, and I was called to take a look at myself, at my life, and my circumstances, and maybe make some new choices. And I did do that. I was slow for a while. I struggled for a while. No kidding. Went from doctor to doctor. I was recommended medication after medication. They didn't work. Surgeries, those didn't work. I was pretty isolated at the end of that journey. I was lonely. I was scared. I was in pain. I had to begin to think in a new way, because my circumstances weren't changing. My arms weren't working anymore. So I chose to create a new way, create a new life for myself, a new definition of success for myself. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I needed support. I needed to know others had been there and done that. I know that now my belief in what success is doesn't mean we have to have a lot of money. But I've noticed that now that we have more freedom in our finances, and that I'm not continuing to rack up debt and have that fear that comes with that kind of financial struggle, that it is freeing. It is freeing to have more choices. It does create a freedom, and it does create choices that we can then change our circumstances in other ways, right? So even though my arms still don't work very well, I do not pick up my camera still to this day. I found a new way. I was introduced to a new way, and I just like to call it the certain way. It's just a new way of doing things and serving others. That's really the goal here, is coming with a servant heart. And realizing that there can be a new way. There can be a different way than we had been doing something. Because I didn't believe it at first. I was very skeptical. I struggled for a long time in social media, and on Facebook is the primary social media platform that I do primarily use for building and growing and socializing. I do back up all my videos on YouTube, and that's where all the links are. But I'm not on all social media platforms. I am not in LinkedIn and on Twitter and on all these. I have accounts, again, but I just funnel them all to Facebook. So that's one thing that I found was very easy and helped me be simple in the beginning when I had to come to social media for my creating and my new way of living, right? New way of connecting with people is I didn't want to be overwhelmed. I didn't know all the platforms. My mentor was willing to teach me Facebook. So I was open and willing to learn, and these are the things that I've learned from them. And, you know, first, I want to add here too, though, before I start talking about this, because this is going to be talking about, you know, posting and sharing and doing things and how often and numbers and stuff like that, that, you know, in the end, that's not what it's about. In the end, it's about remembering that it's not about working hard. It's about remembering that, that what works hard is the power that's us. It's not our arms or our hands that do this work. Even though we're going to be typing and we're going to be using our phones for a lot of this, it's not hard work. And that's where I know that anyone can do this and that I can share this with, you know, and this can work. This can work. So let's get into it. We're going to cover the 4 P's of Facebook. And I got this training again from Jenna Swagel and Melody Riva are my mentors. So I got to give them credit because they really do rock. And if you don't already know them on Facebook, connect with them and befriend them. So number 1, and this again, we're going to talk about 4 things, 4 P's, and then we're going to also go into a few details on what's really needed. What do I really need to do on Facebook to create a following and so that Facebook can see me, right? Because we know that we can make a post and that doesn't mean anybody's going to see it. It doesn't mean you're going to get a new friend or a sale or anything like that just by posting. And in the beginning, I thought that's what it was all about. I thought, oh, I could just be on Facebook and I'm good. I could just be here and people will see me and they'll want to buy stuff from me or they'll want to be my friend without me really being present. And that really isn't the key. So, okay, number 1 is passion. So you're going to want to share what you're most passionate about and what you love, what motivates you, exercise, food, experiences are great things to share because that also inspires and motivates others to continue having fun, fulfilling experiences, especially right now. My husband is still taking us out on drives and we go to the park. If there's nobody there, you know, he'll stop and let the kids get out and things like that. Experiences are great. Your children, your family, that's our passions, right? Your new work from home opportunity. That's a passion. We don't want to overdo things. So here's another thing that Jenna, I know, mentioned a lot in her trainings is oversharing passions and, you know, oversharing things that we love and we do, because people come to our profile and they scroll down. They don't just look at our first post, right? They're going to scroll down and take a look at what we're all about. And, you know, you probably might have done this yourself, but sometimes they'll scroll down pretty far. There's really no need to repeat things, especially the same day, or I would say even like a few days apart. Make sure you're sharing variety of passions, not just one thing over and over. Because I see some people, like I go to their page and I already know it's going to be a coffee post that morning, no matter what. Always a coffee post in the morning, which is great. That's not good or bad. She's attracting coffee lovers, right? That's her thing. So I just choose, I'm working on having a more profile that appears more professional versus just, hey, here's what I love, here's me. And when we share our passions, a lot of times that's what others can perceive it as. So we want to include other things too, right? So we're going to get to number 2. And the second P is pain or a problem. But that doesn't mean we're going to just complain and put it out there and be like, oh, my life sucks. You know, ladies, that if we go through things, right, we start to maybe message each other. If we're being accountable to each other, that's where you want to go with your, you know, problems or your complaints. If you're looking for an answer, that's not something you probably want to be, as far as personal problems. We're talking pains and problems that are emotional, you know, advanced, things that are touchy, right? These are things we want to go to our mentor for. Honestly, this is something that we want to come to our coach, our accountability partner, and say, look, this is something I'm struggling with. Or ask them if you should post it. Look, this is something that I think people should know about that I'm struggling with? Is this something great to post? Like having that ear to bounce stuff off of is just super helpful. But mainly right here, what you really want to share here is your rags to riches story, your pain to pleasure story. Like let them know where you've been, right? We know we're not perfect. We know we've made mistakes, or we've, you know, done things that weren't wise or smart or great at one time. And, you know, for me anyway, I still deal with the results of some of those things. So when I share my pain, I have the purpose of sharing it to be a hope giver, to show someone that, yes, this could be a battle, but it could also be a celebration. And to you know, inspire people to see it that way. Jenna also was mentioning how she was like talking about so many of us are healthy, we're health mindset, right? Or we have products maybe we're promoting that are health and wellness related. And she was saying that she sees people checking in at the hospital and checking in at their doctor visits, and like things that really don't sound or feel, you know, doesn't give you that living healthy kind of atmosphere. So you want to imagine when people come to your page, what they're going to feel like. And you know, complaining is just, I don't know, we attract what we put out there. I do believe that too. So having a positive mindset just never hurts. And I don't know anyone that wants to connect with people that are struggling, right? That are just having a hard time. Like it's kind of like uncomfortable. You're like, oh. Anyway, but I'm grateful for you guys, because I know I have some people, friends and my mentors and my community here that are so supportive and non-judgmental. And that's what I mean by accountability. A friend who's accountability partner is somebody that won't judge you if you have a problem, to come with them, you know. So be aware, be conscious of the atmosphere you're putting out there on your page, because your Facebook fan page is it's like your home. It's like the front of your home, kind of, you can think of it that way. And so what do you want to introduce to people when they come to you? You know, what is the first thing you want them to know you for? You know, chances are the new people that come to your page, the first thing they see on your page, that's what they're going to catch. Like, oh, that's what she does, or that's what she's all about. And, you know, I'm now at a time where I'm not going to care if they enjoy what I'm about or not. I enjoy what I'm about. I enjoy what I put out there. And you know, I share value that has changed my life. So my story, I share it very randomly. Now what I'm really looking forward to is also sharing your pain to purpose stories. And, you know, when you have a share, when you have a post like this, you should message friends. You should message them and let them know, I just made a really vulnerable post today, and I would love if you would take a look and just say a prayer for me, or whatever it is. But let people know that you're there, and be vulnerable. You know, be vulnerable. We're not perfect. We're not here to showcase anything but life. Chris Wood is here on live, and you are such a perfect example of doing your thing and getting out there and putting yourself out there and being beautiful in the process and journey. When everything went online, you got online. You're like, I'm getting in my living room. Here we go. It was just beautiful. Okay, so number 3 is personal. Be personal. And this is, I'm going to say again, the family and the kids, obviously that's very personal usually. It's a great thing to share, but invite people now into your world also. Some of the other things that my mentors had mentioned was funny posts, humor. If you find humor to be relieving and relaxing, like I do, you know, if someone posts a funny post, share funny posts, share things that are going to, you know, raise a vibration and make people feel good. Like, I just want people to feel good. That's what it's about. When they come to social media, people are looking for something. Most people really are. I mean, even we are. We're coming to social media looking for friends. We're coming looking for connection, you know, success. And I think that it's important to get personal and be personal. And, you know, I used to not really, I feel like I wasn't all that personal. When I say personal, I mean personal and authentic, right? I was being personal and I would share things, but not authentically. Um, when you're being personal, remember that, I have a goal anyway to meet most of you in person one day. So my goal is to be as real on my social media as I am when I meet you in person so that it all works, right? So that it's real. There's no reason to come and be incognito if you're on social media. Public your post, public your profile. It's a little, if you've always had your profile private, if you've always considered social media your family sharing space, this might sound scary. What do you mean put everything public? Everyone's going to see my kids. Holy cow. It's something I prayed about over and over again. And I've just always been one to share my family and my personal life. And I've always enjoyed doing that. That's what brought me to Facebook, was my first daughter when she was born. And that's a good way to get to know people. When people see your life journey, your birth experiences, even the tragedies, even the pains and the stories and all of those, that's how they connect with you. That's how they gain an understanding of who you are and, whether y'all are going to mesh or not as a friend. So be personal. Another thing that was in this area for sharing for personal things is physical journeys, your physical journey, any kind of transformation that you've been on and that you've been seeing results, sharing results too, not like things that are difficult and hard, but whatever it is that you're doing in your life, you might be learning something new, share it with the world. And even if it is something that you think maybe other people aren't going to be interested in or whatever, share it as a celebration of you and what you're experiencing in your personal life and getting that out there. Seek to identify with people, and ask yourself, how could I identify with this person when you meet new people even. Okay, let's get on to the last one. The last one's number 4, and it's product placement and promoting. So we're definitely going to talk about this because this can be an issue. I see others, and I used to do this. My mentors, again, they are professionals. They are documented in this, and they recommend not being too product oriented, being opportunity oriented. However, getting the stories out there and getting how you're using it in your daily life. Maybe it's a photo of y'all sitting in the morning with everybody doing school and the bottle of oil is like over there on the corner, and that's helping manage that situation. It doesn't always have to be, oh my gosh, this is help, saying, it could be in a photo. It doesn't have to be like a written testimony and all that every time. It could just, be every now and then in your photos. Like, that's a great way to share products without, stuffing it down people's throats. I kind of feel like there are, and I just call it, that's their passion, right? They're passionate about it, so they're going to keep sharing it. And again, I did it. We have all found things that we're passionate about and that we love to share. So when I see people sharing a lot of maybe one thing or over and over again the same thing, I just remind myself that they're very, very passionate about that, and they're really in love with this, and that's a great thing to talk about. So you can see when people are posting a lot of one thing, it's a great thing to bring up in Messenger. Hey, I noticed this. I noticed you love coffee. It's a great, obviously, a conversation starter. So use that as well. When other people are posting about products, because what I see now is I'll just be realizing, like, I don't know, I'll just be realizing in a day what I'm doing and how something is helping me, whether it's one of my products or maybe it's a therapy or something like that. And I don't come to share with the world always, but maybe I remember a friend that might have been struggling with this certain thing that I just realized, oh my gosh, this is so improved, or whatever it is. So I may reach out and just share with a friend. I don't always share the products on my wall. Sometimes I'll just send in Messenger, not really a product, but just more my testimony. And, I remember you saying this happened, or you were struggling with this. And I just realized yesterday, this is helping me a lot. Maybe it's my new oils I'm diffusing. Something like that. Like just, I like to use the products in conversation. They are part of my everyday life, and it's easy to talk about them. So that's the last for that. And then, another example she used for products now that's coming for summer is the sunburn. Apparently, our creams and lotions are crazy, crazy, amazing, relieving, healing for the skin in the summertime for sunburns. Like there's been photos, like first day, next day, where it'll look like a tan the next day instead of peeling, those kinds of things. So that's a great photo kind of testimony to think about. And then rank advancements, team, opportunity growth, like when people are getting paid. When I binary qualified, I posted about that. But celebrating yourself in your advancements, and that helps to tell others what's happening. It also creates curiosity. There was a line here that someone had posted, oh my gosh, I just got my first check and it's only been a week, or something like that, to create just curiosity. Also, it doesn't always have to be a full-on product post or testimony. And that's it for the 4 things. Y'all, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to unmute and ask, or obviously anything to share. I'm going to cover a few more things, and they will be how often to post, Facebook Lives, what not to post, and that might be it. It's getting a little long already. I like to keep them short. So let's go right into what not to post if you don't have any questions. What not to post, because this is important too. And again, this is like general, general. I don't like to say never do this. My mentors have helped me kind of pick and choose out of all of the things I had learned over what to post, what not to post. So these are the things that basically came out as just try not to do this ever. So negativity, just simply putting a negative energy out. There's just no reason. We want to engage, and negativity doesn't promote, it might promote engagement, but it doesn't promote a connection. You can think of the difference between engagement and connection. It promotes engagement, but you're not going to probably gain best friends and sales and that from posting negativity. Number 2 was the news. CNN, limit the news. This was the kind of a thing, and I've heard Trump, I've been listening to Trump's daily online things, and he says over and over again about the fake news. And this is big because the purpose of media is to control us, and mostly to control our minds. I believe that. Since I've not been watching the news for years, my mindset's improved a lot just from basically taking that out. I mean, on a regular basis, right? Educate, post things about educating, not controlling. Anyway, okay, number 3 of not to do is ads and spam, other companies, other products, or a bunch of products. Like I've seen people try to help all their friends, and they're like, oh, I want to promote everybody's business. And then they share friend after friend after friend, and it's just all different businesses. And I'm like, which one, like what do you, I don't know. It's confusing, right? We don't want to confuse people. We don't want to, spam people. We want to motivate and be excited and be inspiring. And, that just doesn't do it. Most of the time, products aren't really going to be what inspires someone. It's us. It's each other. It's our friendships that inspire people. Okay. And then no begging for sales. No begging for sales. And the example she used was, guys, I'm 2,000 points away from my goal. Please buy something from me. So apparently I haven't seen anybody doing that. I would not do that. So what she recommends is going the opposite. Help others promote instead of you. So put it out there. My teammate, Chris Wood, is looking for her very first promotion. Please support her in her new online opportunity. That kind of stuff. But you want to collaborate on those kind of posts, because you want to make sure that you have friends sharing those kind of posts, and the live videos and that kind of stuff. But okay, so that's it for what not. I don't want to focus too much on what not to do, and because these are all easy here. So how often to post? So max is 2 times a day. that's just a goal. Today, I probably posted 3 or 4 times. I don't do that every day. Thursday tends to be a little more post because at the end of the night, I'll end up posting again about my call or something. And Melody inspires me to do that so that people know it's out there. It's not to promote myself or to say, hey, come listen to me, but people need to know what's available, and they don't know there's an inspiration call if I don't post it. So I post about what I do for my business or inspiration. And, you know, I go off of those rules I just went over, all those different things. I use that for my posting as far as what I'm posting. And also 1 to 2 times a day, and then Facebook does the rest. Facebook is going to continue to help get you out there, right? And get you connected with people just from that 1 to 2 posts. You want those numbers on each post to really grow. You want people to see what you're doing before you post something else, and then they just miss that. And also the Facebook algorithms do start to limit what they show people the more we post. And I notice it, I can see it sometimes through my day. But just remember, your growth is, you know, I always like to think of it as a growth happens overnight. And I'm not posting for right now. I'm not posting for the eyeballs that are like right now when I post it. I'm posting for tomorrow, all the eyeballs that are gonna see it through the day and at night. It's not for this moment. I think of it more as planting a seed, and then it's gonna be found later. Okay. Next thing is Facebook Lives. 1 a week is what's recommended. I went a season and did 1 a day for about 2.5 weeks. That was crazy momentum. Facebook really helps grow your following and your page very, very well and efficiently from doing Facebook Lives. Just doing those promotes your profile more than, say, the next person that's not doing a Facebook Live. So not like it's competition, but you do want people to see your post. You want people to see your page. So going live, even if it's just for 2 or 3 minutes, is that crazy? Like, it doesn't have to be long, like 2 or 3 minutes. Can help your following see you more. It'll help them see your posts more. It'll help them see everything more. Just from doing that few minute Facebook Live once or twice a week, at least once a week is good. Don't put pressure, overthink. Oh gosh, I know this is hard if you're just starting your lives, because I did it. I still do it to myself. Sometimes I do. It's something you work on. You know, I found that working on myself in the morning really has helped. And then I can more easily get on live and share what I'm learning, because I'm actually putting that time into learning something. So that's another thing, you know, with what to share. Read a book or listen to a podcast. Our mentors always are recommending to always be reading a book. And so that's great for sharing lives on Facebook. Just read like a chapter, take a few notes, and then go live. Like, hey guys, I just was reading this book. This is what I've learned today. Give value, give you know, value. And when I was starting to do this sharing, you know, there were certain books I wanted to cover, and my mentor was like, well, why do you want to cover that? And it was really more about me, and it was like more about what I thought people needed. And she's like, well, you know, ask yourself what can serve the many. What can serve the many? And so now that's my goal in gaining you know, when I come to social media, is what can I share for the many? And it can get general, and I like that because it gives space. It leaves space in your, I don't know, what is your toolbox, right, of what you have. We connect with people with similar interests too. And so I noticed when I started doing Facebook Lives, more people that were doing lives started connecting with me. Be like, oh, I like watching your lives. I've been practicing doing lives. So that's a great way also to connect with other people that are doing lives, is to also do them. So the next thing, and this is the last thing, because I know there's so much more we can cover on social media, but there's tons of videos I can plug you into of our mentors that have already done a lot of added details. But the last thing is time. How long do I spend on Facebook? How long does somebody need to be on social media in order to be successful? And the truth is, there's not a specific amount of time for anyone. I used to spend hours and hours and hours and made not many new friends and not much money. And now I spend an hour and a half, max 2 a day, and I am and I have my friends list maxed out at 5,000. I've had thousands of followers. I'm constantly renewing my friends list and adding new friends. But it's not taken me a lot of time each day to do that. So 80% of the time on Facebook should be spent in Messenger, and of whatever you are spending. So when I have my planner and I'm like, okay, this is my social media time, I actually schedule my time, and I keep a track and make sure I'm staying in Messenger, because again, engagement and connection. So engagement is your post and you're sharing, and engagement's good. We need that because those are our eyes, and that's our future connections. But connecting doesn't happen on your pages. It happens in Messenger. It happens when we start talking and asking questions, about our lives. That's connecting. Engagement doesn't go the distance. The connecting does. So make sure you're in Messenger most of the time. And I used to spend a lot of time like decorating my wall and posting all the stuff and changing my info and updating everything. And I don't even do all that anymore. Every now and then I'll update it, but I keep it simple because I want to be duplicatable. And that's the thing too, is, we're here to serve others. We're here to, this is where I started, right? Like this, I'll end with that. It's a service-based, situation we're in here on social media. And I never realized what an amazing benefit and opportunity this was going to be. I mean, this time is really proving that we've set ourselves up for success. There's no reason. I mean, if I can hardly use my arms and I can do this. Like I would not even be able to work a regular job. So anyways, inspired, and grateful that you've joined today and that you've listened and learned all this. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or message me on Facebook. I'm there every morning, and I would love to talk to you more. Angela, thank you so much for joining. Chris, thanks for joining live. I love you ladies. If you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself, or we can chat. And
Love you.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you are very welcome. It is a blessing to be here sharing with you. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. We will talk again soon. Bye.